time for the Garber FFA as we celebrate FFA month, actually, in February at KOFM. First up, what's your name?
Colton Snyder.
Colton, you're the president, right?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing this year in the FFA?
I show steers. I do livestock judging, and I give a speech.
Okay. How many steers do you have?
Just one on feed right now.
Okay. And how's the steer looking?
He's good. Hereford steer. He's
Okay.
pretty big, like 1,300 pounds.
Really? Okay. So you're a senior this year. How many times have you shown cattle?
Since third grade, I've
Okay,
showed
so
steers.
for a long, long time.
Yeah.
What's the key to getting that steer in the ring and doing it the way you want it to do?
It's just work with them at home, just
Mhm.
like the time at home. Yeah.
I always like to ask the FFA students this, how many hours a week do you figure you put in on your FFA projects?
7 to 10.
Okay.
Leading them and
Uh-huh.
feeding them and washing them, all that. Yeah.
And that's just the animal part. That's not counting all the other projects you get going on.
Yeah.
All right. It's almost a full-time job.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So you're a senior this year. What's the plan after high school?
I don't really know yet. I will go to college, but I'm just not sure where
Okay.
yet.
What do you want to do when you grow up? I'm wondering, like, what's the dream job for you?
I'm gonna go into ag communications and do something where I talk.
All right. Future on-air personality right here sitting next to me. Come back and see me when you graduate, okay?
All right, thank you,
Awesome.
sir.
All righty. Talking with members of the Garber FFA. Coming up next, Trevin Blazier. Did I get that name right?
Yes, sir.
Trevor, what year are you this year?
I'm a senior.
And what office do you hold?
I'm the secretary.
All righty. What's some of the projects you're working on this year?
This year we're doing something new with a business marketing CDE. We
Okay.
got a new team with Bree and Avery here.
Mhm.
It's where we use a local operation and we put together a marketing plan and go compete against other teams.
Really? How's
Yeah.
that working?
It's not happened yet, so we're about
Okay.
to get started with it.
Any top secrets you want to talk about before it happens? Things that's part of that plan of getting people going?
We're not exactly sure how
Okay.
it works completely yet.
Boy, you need to be a politician when you get out. I'm not sure yet. Yeah. So, what else are you doing?
That's mainly it. We've had a lot of other community service things going on.
Awesome. Public service, community service. What are some of the things you've done this year?
We helped with community cleanup. I know we did. Some of us helped with the WVO, like cemetery cleanup.
Mhm.
We had a big community dinner, chili bingo for the angel tree.
Good for you.
Raised money and went
Mhm.
shopping for angel trees or
Awesome.
angels in our community.
Yeah. Good deal for you. After high school, what's the plan?
I'm not exactly sure. I don't think I'm gonna go to college though.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go to work, probably somewhere in the ag industry though.
Okay. You don't necessarily have to have a degree. If you got it in your brain, you know what you're going to do. That's the important part, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you, my friend. Appreciate you coming in. Up next, we have Tad. I'm going to try to get this. Reinschmidt. Did I get close?
Tad Reinschmidt.
I got really, really close. The E, the I. Tad, how are you?
Good.
Now, are you a senior also?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore. Okay, you're just a big sophomore. Yeah. All right. What do you do in the FFA this year?
I'm doing a proficiency, and I say speeches.
Okay.
And
what proficiency are you working on?
It's fiber and oil crop.
Fiber and oil crop. What does that mean?
It's like, so if it can turn into oil, it's like soybeans. We use soybeans, so that's what I'm doing it in.
I got you. You know, I took a trip to Europe years ago, and before we had canola here in northern Oklahoma, they had these fields of yellow along the interstates. And I'm asking these people in Poland, what is that? And they said, those are oil fields. And I said, that's not what an oil field looks like in Oklahoma. It takes pump jacks for oil. And I didn't understand at that point that they meant vegetable oils and things like that. So could be a fairly profitable thing if you do it right, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
What else are you doing this year? Doing speeches?
Yeah, my speech is it's over how like all the old farmers are retiring, and there's not very many young farmers replacing theirs.
How are you? Are you planning on you gonna be a farmer? You think?
Yeah, I hope so.
What's how do you look at the future of farming? Being you're young, you still got lots to look at, but what do you think the farming's going to be like in 15 years?
Probably a lot more technology that gets involved with it. So
kind of like everybody else, AI is going to be working for you while you're either riding in the tractor or watching the tractor go around and around, right?
Yep.
It'll work. All right, man. I appreciate you coming in. Next up, The Garber FFA continues. Macy Carter is here. Macy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Now, what year are you?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. What office do you hold?
Sentinel.
Or you're the one that has to kick them out of the meeting if they don't do well, right?
Yeah.
So what are you involved in this year?
I have a CDE in vet science and my livestock shows, my swine.
How many swine do you have?
I have 7 right now on feed.
Wow. Okay. So you're going to be showing all 7 pigs? Is that the game plan, or how does that work?
You can only do 3 gilts and 3 bears at OIE, so
Okay. So
someone's going to
5.
have to be kicked out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How do you manage to do 5 show hogs? I know you don't do it by yourself.
My mom helps a lot. Miss Q, she helps a lot too.
Yeah.
But I mean, just mom and Miss Q for the most part. I spend a lot of time in the barn by myself.
I'll ask you that same question about time spent with the animals. How many hours a week do you work with those pigs?
Every day for at least 2 hours. So
Times 7's 14.
yeah,
And I know there's more than that.
yeah, it's probably about
Yeah.
15 hours a week.
Yeah. So it's a full-time, part-time gig along with everything else that you're doing this year. You're a senior this year. What's the game plan after high school?
I plan to attend Northwestern in Alva and get my agriculture education degree.
Very cool. You're gonna take the place of somebody at some point at Garber?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. She's running the cameras while we're looking at the camera. But that's what you want to do is be a teacher?
Yes.
Good for you. Well, I will see you back in here at some point with your other hat on being a teacher, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good for you. Good for you. You'd be surprised how many students I've interviewed throughout the years that end up right back in here as a teacher. Next up, what's your name?
Kaylin Bond,
Kaylin, what year are you?
a sophomore,
And what office do you hold?
parliamentarian.
All righty. Kaylin, what are you involved in this year in the FFA?
I show cattle, heifers, and steers, and I also breed chickens for egg production.
How many chickens do you have?
About 100.
Okay, so it's a full-blown operation. How many eggs do you have on a daily basis or weekly anyway?
Well, right now they're kind of slowing down in the winter months, but they're picking up again, and around 3 dozen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you sell those locally then? Make
Yes.
money off of it?
Yes.
On the record books, is the poultry farm making money?
Yeah. Right now it's gone up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Good for you. And what else are you doing?
I show cattle,
Okay. And how many show animals do you have?
1 steer and 1 heifer.
Okay. All of that put together, same question for you. How many hours a week are you working on the animals?
Probably about 10 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It works. And of course, talking about Garber, you guys, small town community, you've got other things going on besides the FFA. I know that. So, everything going well with the show animals? Are you ready for this year?
Yep.
All right. Good for you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You can bring us some eggs sometime if you want. Up next, what is your name?
Avery Boyer.
Avery, what year are you?
I'm a junior.
And what office do you hold?
I'm the treasurer.
All right, you got all the money. You buying lunch for everybody later?
No.
Oh, okay. Hardcore treasurer. I like it. I like it. What are you involved in this year?
I have a CDE with the marketing business plan with Trevin and Brianna, and then my SAE is goat production.
Tell me about the goat production project.
Right now it's in the winter time, so not really a lot right now, but the goat production, the industry, it's huge. A lot of people do it for a living, and it's a great industry to be involved in. Artificial insemination is going crazy right now. Everyone's using it, and it's a great opportunity for goat industry.
Around here, goats weren't a big thing 20 years ago. It was cattle, it was sheep, but mostly cattle. What do you do with a goat?
Actually, a goat can provide a lot of things. I mean, especially with people that are allergic to cow milk, they have to drink goat milk, and also goat can make cheese, and a goat can provide a lot of good things in the world. So
I want to say, and I might be wrong, maybe you can correct me, but it seems like to me goat is like the #1 consumed animal in the world, I believe.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
'Cause it's
Especially around the world
Right.
too.
In other countries, it's a portable source of food. You bring the
Yes.
goat with you. It produces milk, and then when you need to eat it, you just stop and you stop the caravan and you eat.
Yeah.
And we don't live like that, so we don't understand that. But
Yes.
fascinating. So, how many goats do you have?
Right now, I have about 15 goats on
Okay.
feed, wethers and does. So it's a long process.
Well, good for you. Keep up the good work.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. Up next, as we visit with the Garber FFA, is Lily Lure. Lily, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. What year are you this year?
I'm a sophomore.
And what office do you hold?
I am the reporter.
Alrighty. So what are you going to be working on this year? What's your projects?
My CDE is vet science, and I also do animal science quiz bowl, and my SAE is training horses.
Oh, wow. Training. How do you train a horse in a nutshell?
Well, you start out with the groundwork and then slowly start lunging and work your way up to putting on a saddle and getting on him.
I'm instantly seeing a scene out of a country show or a western show where the kid goes out in the corral and secretly puts the saddle on the horse when mom and dad aren't looking and tries not to die. It's not quite like that, is it?
Not really.
Okay. So,
Uh,
I mean, you halter the horse up at the beginning. You got to get them to where they trust you, and then from that point on, how long does it take you to have that saddle on the horse?
Well, a couple months of just getting them used to it, and
Mhm.
then once they're used to the saddle, you can start with the cues and stuff, and
Mhm.
then get on them.
It's
Hopefully they handle it.
it's just a matter of working with them day after day after day, getting them to trust you, right?
Yeah.
See, I learned the hard way. You walk into a pen with a horse, it's their pen, not yours, right?
Yes.
They're kind of like a cat in many ways.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What else are you involved in?
Vet science and quiz bowl.
Is vet science something you're wanting to do as you get older? Is it maybe go that direction, or?
Yeah, something involving veterinary practices.
Okay. Good for you. Keep in touch with us, and we'll keep track of you throughout the years, okay?
Okay.
All right. Next up, what is your name as we visit with the final member of the Garber FFA?
My name is Brianna Payne,
Brianna, what office do you hold?
Vice President,
And what year are you?
Junior.
You're a junior. What's going on this year in the FFA?
This year we've had a lot of stuff going on. I personally have 2 CDEs.
Mhm.
As mentioned, Avery and Trevin and I are doing the ag business marketing, but I also have an agriculture education.
Okay. So are you going to be a FFA instructor at some point, you think?
I've
Or-
thought about it,
Uh-huh.
but I believe my future goals are going to be ag communications, and
Okay.
ag education relies heavily on ag communications. So what I've been doing lately is I go around to the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade classes in Covington and Garber,
Mhm.
and I've been teaching lessons about what happens in agriculture and the FFA.
That is really cool. So at some point, we're going to see you either on the TV or maybe working with Ron Hayes, Radio Oklahoma Ag Network, that kind of thing.
Maybe so.
Maybe so. I know some people when you get to that point, okay? I really do have some contacts. For anybody that's ever in ag communications, really, that's what we do too. So I appreciate you. Come back and see us next year, okay?
I will. Thank
All
you.
right. Appreciate members of the Garber FFA for coming to see us today.